One of the original Lord of the Rings movies is about to be improved, if that's even possible. Today on ScreenRant, we're talking The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim, what it means for the Middle-earth franchise as a whole, and how it has the same job as the most underrated Star Wars movie. We're mixing franchises. Here we go. The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim is an animated movie set to release in December 2024. The film stars Brian Cox as the voice of Helm Hammerhand, the 9th King of Rohan, as he leads his kingdom against an attack from an army of Dunlendings, a wild race of men who live in the plains of Rohan. Miranda Otto also lends her voice as the narrator of the film, reprising her role as Éowyn from the original Lord of the Rings trilogy. This movie has an interesting job for the world of Middle-earth. It's not a sequel or prequel to the main storyline of The One Ring, like The Hobbit or Rings of Power. Instead, it is taking one iconic climactic thing from the original films and telling the history surrounding it to provide it with more context. In this case, it is the location of Helm's Deep, the place of the battle at the end of the Two Towers. Helm's Deep obviously stems from Helm Hammerhand, and we're going to find out why. This is going to make a rewatch of The Lord of the Rings middle film absolutely necessary, as we will have more lore about Rohan, and it'll make the final battle that much better. What's interesting is The War of the Rohirrim is essentially for Lord of the Rings what Rogue One is for Star Wars. Neither film is necessary for the overarching story of the saga. Instead, they take one section of one of the films and give it more backstory. These side films, as you could call them, allow the franchises to take more creative risks. Rogue One really puts the war in Star Wars, focusing on the boots in the trenches, firefights, and sacrifices of the battle, instead of sci-fi spaceship chases and wizards with laser swords. And The War of the Rohirrim is stretching into a whole other medium with animation, allowing for more visual creativity than even Peter Jackson had in his films.